Good morning and welcome to Athavan newspaper highlights. Today Friday, 11th of November 2016. This is Edward with the highlights of today's English newspapers. Daily Mirror, Daily News and Ceylon Today are taken up for today's highlights. Firstly, let's have a look on the Daily Mirror. The main headline says, Budget 2017 aimed at 1 million job opportunities. The government yesterday presented its annual budget for the next year, envisaging plans for economic reforms and investment promotions with the aim of achieving its much-hyped 1 million employment opportunities. Other parliamentarians and ministers have also expressed their views on the budget. Accordingly, Dinesh Gunawardena says, tax introduced in almost all sectors. Working class will also be affected by the taxation. Anurakumar Disanayaka says, government has decided to add taxes which were spared to date. New carbon tax will increase the burden on the people. Dayasri Jayasekara says, this is a budget which outlines plans to take the nation towards economic prosperity. Harsa De Silva says, happy to be part of this government which presented this effective budget. This budget outlines clear plans. M.A. Sumantharan says, prices of some essential goods have been reduced marginally. The budget looks good on paper. Maximum retail prices reduced. Green gram by 15 rupees per kilo. Dal by 10 rupees per kilo. Potatoes by 5 rupees per kilo. Spread by 5 rupees per kilo. White sugar by 2 rupees per kilo. Kerosene by 5 rupees per litre. LP gas by 25 rupees per 12.5 kilo domestic cylinder. Prices unchanged on certain products such as 400 gram locally produced milk powder at 295 rupees. 425 gram locally produced canned fish at 125 rupees. 500 Udagama housing projects next year. Housing and Construction Minister Sajith Premadas said the proposed 500 Udagama housing projects would be implemented next year, and in addition several middle-class housing schemes jointly funded by the private sector would also be launched. The minister laid the foundation stone for the proposed housing scheme comprising 124 houses. He said in many developed countries the housing problem had been solved with the participation of the private sector. The ministry has taken steps to implement 500 Udagama projects next year. 4 million rupees fraud. Stationmaster, 4 others remanded till next Thursday. The stationmaster of the Navalapitiya railway station and 4 others arrested in connection with the 4 million rupees fraud were produced before Gampola magistrate Chantani Meegoda and remanded till next Thursday. The suspects are alleged to have used forged documents to obtain a loan of 4 million rupees from the Gampola branch of a state bank. Secondly, let's move to Daily News. The main headline says in detail about the 2017 budget. Tax incentives for exporting vehicles for 5 years old. Prices reduced on selected essential goods. Withholding tax increased from 10 to 14%. Highway toll down by rupees 50 between 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Indirect taxes reduced from 80% to 60%. Ceylon Tobacco Company requested to pay 500 million to the Presidential Secretariat. 1 billion for contributory pension as proposed by 2016 budget. 3,500 million for the protection of war heroes. 100 items exempted from cess. 2017 budget. Top priority to empower people. The second budget proposal of the unity government designed to uplift the country's economy and achieve vital development targets by 2020 was presented to Parliament yesterday by Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake. The Finance Minister said this budget is a departure from the traditional one that focuses only on welfare. This budget aims to create a sustainable environment that upholds the rights of our people, provides them with better infrastructure facilities, creates more opportunities for employment with better wages, and above all enables all Sri Lankans to be empowered, Minister Karunanayake said. Some politicians have expressed their point of views on the budget. Accordingly, opposition leader and TNA leader R. Sampanthan says, this budget is comparatively good. It has looked into the needs of the people in the northern province too. The budget is general good and it is a people-friendly budget. State Enterprise Development Minister Kabir Hasim says, "We will definitely rebuild this country." Agriculture Minister Duminda Disanayake says, "Concessions to many sectors." JVP leader and Chief Opposition Whip Anurakumar Disanayake says, "Further taxes on many fields." Western Province Development and Megapolis Minister Patali Champika Ranawaka says, "We will be able to attain economic development." Regional Development Minister Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca says, "Budget will benefit all." Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa says, "Budget does not make any sense." Another highlight says, over 29,000 accidents, 2,207 deaths during past 9 months. National Accident Prevention Week from November 15 to 18. The past 9 months saw 29,630 accidents and 2,207 deaths in Sri Lanka, police reports issued to the Health Ministry revealed. Sources said 2019 fatal accidents and 29% of deaths were reported due to transport-related accidents, while 6% were drowning and 9% suicides. Hospital records show that 34% of the accident victims were females, while 66% were males. A total of 2,500 Sri Lankans die from accidents annually. Finally, let's move to Ceylon today. The main headline also says about the 2017 budget highlights. President targets 2017 for poverty eradication. Sri Lanka considers joining Trans-Pacific Partnership and other trade agreements. Targeting increase of export income of Sri Lankan tea by 5 billion rupees by 2020. 50% interest-free loans for farmers who focus on exports. Automated commodity exchange to be set up for tea, rubber, coconut at a cost of 70 million rupees. 200,000 rupees free insurance scheme for all school students. Scholarships for top university students to study in foreign universities such as Harvard, MIT and Singapore universities. 15,000 dairy cattle will be imported. Free tablet computers to be provided for 175,000 A-level students and 25,000 teachers from next year. 500 million rupees will be allocated for this. AG's left hand knows not what's in his right hand. President's counselors for the defense tell court. Despite being well versed in the law, AG made a malicious request to remand the accused. "We are not afraid to face the Radha case as the AG has filed charges with only photocopies of the original documents." Additional Solicitor General Jasanda Kodagoda tries to cover up the truth with lies. High Court judge says AG's delay causing damages to the defense. High Court judge accepts medical reports submitted by the defense and releases Tiran Alas and 3 others on bail. How could AG file charges on a case pertaining to Radha, which is not a public institution under the Public Properties Act? With that, let's come to an end of today's paper highlights. We will come with more news tomorrow morning. Thanks for listening to Athavan newspaper highlights.